Dragons Live, presented by Form Communications.
Hello everyone and welcome to the first Dragons Live of the new year. On tonight's show, we're going to get you caught up on everything that happened over this holiday break and get you back into the swing of the winter season.
We'll also get you in the minds of soon-to-start spring sports, swim and dive's training trip to Puerto Rico, and men's basketball redshirt freshman class who are making some noise this year in the NSIC.
But first, let's get started with the stellar season MSUM women's basketball is having once again, going for their third straight conference title.
Well, there's no guarantees that you can build upon the success. I think the idea is you'd like to, but you have to really. I think one of the qualities you look for are in a student athlete, a recruit, is do they have that toughness where they're willing to do the work, handle some of the pressure that comes along with trying to sustain or even build upon the success of previous teams or previous years. So, you know, I do think can be a crapshoot. There's no question about it. But for the most part, I think we've done a good job. My staff has done a good job. Allison Swenson's done a good job of identifying student athletes that we feel that can continue our success.
Well, I mean, I think, you know, a lot of it has to do with Coach Nelson. I think she does, when I was a player, I mean, she knew how to coach me, and I think she does that with each and every one of her players. She has a unique way of just figuring out what makes you tick. And, you know, as years have gone on, I think she's, you know, just done a continuously good job of figuring out, you know, how to handle each individual player. And then that goes into how she's gonna coach our team as a whole. But like she talks about a lot of time, you know, stability in the program, her being here for this many years helps, and then just people being around our program, myself included, and then now you bring in Cassidy Thorson, Coach Thorson, and you know, there's just things that we speak a certain language, and bringing Cass in, she's played, she knows all of this, you know, how we like to do things, and that stability with people Coach has coached and on her staff, I think helps, along with just her being her.
She's really the rock to this team, and she holds everyone accountable, and when you're not working hard, she'll let you know. And I think just having players who back that up, like my freshman year, we had Morgan Bonasic and Heather Stracy and Savannah Handovit. They were all very hard workers, and they were not afraid to tell you if you're doing something wrong. So I really think it's the foundation that Coach Nelson sets.
I think we've been steadfast in the kind of the kids we look for, hardworking, good academic young gals that come in here and do a good job. So I don't think it's like there's some magic answer to that. I think we just look for basically the same kind of young women to come in here and play.
She looks at her players, she looks at the people she's working with, and she sees what the potential is. And then she sets that potential as the standard. And then she relentlessly pursues it. So she looked at Drew Sanis, for example, when she was recruiting Drew, and saw what Drew could be. And then spent the next 5 years helping and relentlessly pursuing that with Drew. She set that standard of what she thought Drew could be, and Drew came pretty dang close to that, and I think that's true for all of her players. So it's that ability to see the potential in a player or in an assistant coach, and then set the expectation at that, and then help them along the way to achieve that.
You know, even sometimes as a player, you probably, you know, you weren't, you know, you didn't like Coach every day, but at the end of the day, you knew she was in it for the right reasons, and she, you know, she truly loves each and one of her players. And so that admiration that everyone has for Coach is pretty special. You know, we're all indebted to her for a lot of things, and you know, she's done it the right way.
Coach Nelson's women are at Mankato and Concordia St. Paul this weekend before returning home to face Southwest Minnesota State in Sioux Falls February 8th and 9th.
Friendships come and go over time, but for these two wrestlers, the bond has been reignited after becoming Dragons together. Tell me how you guys know each other.
Well, our parents went to high school together in Deer River, both wrestled on the same team, and then after they went to college or whatever, they ended up both in the same town of Detroit Lakes, where I grew up and he grew up too.
And we've been wrestling with each other since I was about 4 years old.
And then it's my understanding that one of you moved away?
I moved away after my 6th grade year. I mean, we were still pretty young. And then wrestled in Grand Rapids for the rest of my high school career, and we actually ended up wrestling each other in the state tournament.
We did wrestle in a youth tournament. What was it? Third. I was in third.
Yeah.
He was in fourth. And yeah.
Who won?
He won.
Yep.
By a landslide?
Usually, yes.
So now, you know, wrestling together, is there a different type of relationship? Is it more accountability, more like a brother? How is that with you guys?
Well, the competition level is obviously a lot higher now. Before, you know, we were wrestling in elementary together, getting kicked out of practice together, and we were kind of rivals.
I'll be like on the ground or whatever wrestling, and Cole will be like, "Come on, Brandon, get up, get up." So
little motivation things, and I guess I have this mindset that I have to be better than him at everything, so that also pushes me to work harder as much as I'm, you know, wanting to be better than him. You know, I want, I guess, his end goals to be achieved. I mean, that's why we're all in here. If everybody does their job and they're having success, you know, that motivates the rest of the team, I guess. You know, leading by example.
one thing like I want to add, like when I decided to commit here, like watching Cole last year, I mean, he obviously had a lot of success last year and this year. So like when I came here, he started as a freshman last year, and I was like, you know what, I want to start as a freshman too. So it just made me work a lot harder.
Do you guys wrestle each other in practice still?
Every once in a while.
We have, yes. I usually end up on top still, but despite the weight difference.
Stay with us here on Dragons Live. Men's basketball coach Walthall reaches a milestone with help of his young guns. That's coming up right after the break.
Prosperity is today's investment in tomorrow's promise. The promise of a better way of life. With every act of kindness, every act of creation, and with every act of love, we strengthen our community. And when we stand together as a community, we accomplish the impossible. We can choose to pass through life, or we can choose to pass on a better way of life.
Okay, one more.
All right, Benji.
Come on.
Benji.
Yes, smile. Come on,
What about the flash?
Okay, one more. Benjamin, hold
Make
it
a flash,
sideways.
Benji. You have to
Please
back
use
it up.
my
You want to
camera.
get everybody
Looking at
in.
the
You
camera?
can't get everybody in unless you back
Well,
up.
he did it.
There you go.
Did you get? Did you need me? Don't forget to
Did you
take
get it,
one with my
Ben?
camera.
I think you got
Benjamin.
it.
Take another
Oh, well, I think I blinked.
Buffalo Wild Wings, Wings Beer Sports.
Welcome back to Dragons Live. Coach Walthall just hit 300 wins, but helping him get there is a young group that's playing major minutes. Let's hear from the freshmen of men's basketball.
Did it make the transition easier from high school to college ball and sitting out for that extra year?
I think it did, because coming off my senior year, I did get hurt. So, I mean, sitting out that extra year to get stronger and whatnot is really helpful for me.
How did it feel to sit out for a year?
Times when it was hard and times when it was felt like it was the right thing to do. We got to see a lot of things and learn a lot of things, and definitely made us more comfortable coming into this year, I think.
After sitting out last year, did it motivate you more for this season?
I think it did, just because I got to see what I was missing out on. Really wanted to be a part of the team, be a part of traveling, being around the guys.
And overall, it was the right move for all of you?
I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I think kind of as a group, as us four, I think we decided, I mean, it's been really great for us so far, because we got to know each other better, got to play with each other for a year and learn each other's like tendencies without any consequences, really.
We would always be on the same scout team and stuff, and like in the hotels, you know, we didn't have the
maybe the mentality kind
yeah,
of.
we didn't really have the same mentality going into games as other people, so we got to enjoy the hotels a little bit more. You know, it's still kind of a business trip, but
like
we were a little more relaxed.
Yeah, it's pretty much wishing like we could help out the team, and we'd do that, you know, any way we could type of thing.
So we could talk with each other about that a lot.
Yeah.
Not Jesse on the road trips, but it's super fun. Like, cause last year we were all sitting out and we were saying like we just wanted to play so much, and then we get out there and like Cy hits a big shot or something. It's just fun to like scream at him. Like, oh, Cy, or like Bryce pulls up, hits a 3 on someone. It's like it's fun.
What is you guys' hope to accomplish like as a freshman class?
Just get dubs.
Yeah, I think mostly win as many games as we can, and hopefully someday be a top contender for the NCAA tournament.
Now let's hear from Coach Walthall on what it has meant to his career to hit 300 wins.
What does it mean to you to get that 300th win?
Well, it means that there's been a lot of people that have been very supportive of my career. You know, I think first off, my family, because, you know, for about 6 months, it's a real grind in college basketball, and you spend a lot of time away. You miss, you know, some of the kids' games growing up. To be able to do something that you love and have a lot of passion for, and to have it be your livelihood is a pretty cool thing. And so to be around long enough to have 300 means that I've had great support from Jenny and the kids. And then secondly, the administration that I've worked for, both at Loras and here, have been very supportive in being able to help us win basketball games, which helps me keep my job. And then third, and most importantly, as far as the wins part of it, is our players. You know, I've been blessed with great players. And both programs was a situation where we came in and tried to build a program and build it the right way with terrific kids. And you know, when you recruit good kids from good families, it makes a big difference how much you enjoy your team. And I've just had great players, and it's been a pretty cool journey.
So what was it like having your parents here on that night?
It was cool. You know, I mean, I think my dad was a hockey player, and he really didn't know much about basketball as I was growing up, but he slowly started to really learn the game. And my mom is probably the most competitive of all of them, and she gets pretty involved in sports and gets pretty nervous. And but she's always been great. They've both been great and very supportive in this profession. And so they didn't know a lot about the game as I was growing up, but they really started picking it up and learning it, and now they really enjoy it. And it's cool that they're very close, so they can come and watch once in a while.
Do you have a future number you would like to reach?
You know, I feel like I should have about 800 wins sometimes, but you know, I don't. You know, I guess I think the most important thing is when I retire, and I think it's going to be a long time from now, but I think the most important thing is just the relationships, number one, and then number two, that you won a good percentage of your games, because that means you're successful. So I want our kids to have an enjoyable experience, and part of that experience is being successful and putting a good product on the floor and winning basketball games. And so I think more than anything, we want to make sure we have a good winning percentage, you know, attached to those wins, because it's important, because it allows you to remain a coach and coach for a long time. So as long as I'm having fun and enjoy our players, and we get the support from you know, our administration, there's no reason to not keep going for a long time. I just appreciate our players and what they've been able to accomplish over the years, both at MSUM and Loras, and you know, I hope to have many good players and good teammates moving forward, and I think our fans will enjoy our program for years to come.
Congrats, Coach, on this big achievement. As we said earlier, both basketball teams are on the road this weekend and back for a big doubleheader on the 8th and 9th. Stay
with us here on Dragons Live. We've got swim and dive in sunny Puerto Rico, and introducing you to our new softball coach after the break.
Another day. And just like every day, it never seems to slow down. But you have a plan. Grab a cup, grab the paper, and grab a little time. Just for you. It's worth it. Don't get the paper? Just grab the phone. Call now and save up to 60% off the newsstand price. Journalists, bringing the story home every day.
Welcome back to Dragons Live. Dragons swimming and diving has had a busy couple of months, which included taking a trip outside of the country.
For more on that, we'll turn it over to Tanner Robinson. Tanner?
Thanks, Jacob. MSUM Swim and Dive recently made the trip to sunny Puerto Rico, but not for pleasure. The team trained all throughout the trip, and I asked head coach Charlie King how traveling like this will help the team keep things moving fast in the second half of the season.
You just recently took your team on a trip to Puerto Rico. So what does taking your team to a different country, in terms of impact, what impact does it make on you and the team?
You know, it has a big impact. It's pretty regular with a lot of teams will do something like this, but the big thing for us is it's a bigger connection of team. They are with each other for 24/7 for the entire trip. It's really kind of nice to see them grow, find different points of adversity, and then it's a nice location. It's way better than being cold. It's also, we'll train long course meters, so that's twice as long as the pool we have. And it's just really good to get that in. It lengthens out their stroke, and they have to work a lot harder to keep their tempo up because they don't get to get back up to speed pushing off the wall all the time. It really kind of sets that last attitude, that last vibe of what we're going to do, who we're going to be. You know, we're training 2 times a day minimum, and it's really hard training. So for them to go through that and know they can get through it really helps their mind for the end of conference. Conference is a very difficult event. It's 4 days. They swim a lot of events, prelims and finals, so they compete in the morning and they compete at night. And it just takes a toll on you mentally and physically. So to go through training that we did in Puerto Rico really gives them the I can do it, and conference is nothing. So that's the big thing, but also just that team aspect, and everyone's going to break down on training trip, so finding who you can rely on to help pick you up. And I think we had a lot of people that didn't always connect all the time, had a better opportunity to really have to rely on someone else, which was really nice for our team.
Thank you, Coach King. The next event for Swim and Dive is a home duel against Concordia College on February 1st. Now we'll climb out of the pool and head over to the softball diamond, where Dragons softball is adjusting to a new head coach this season. I caught up with Amanda Reckamp and asked her about her expectations as she gets ready to lead the Dragons.
In terms of like the talent you have this year, what stood out to you so far?
I mean, we competed a little bit in the fall. We had some scrimmages, so I was able to see a little bit. You know, to be honest, you know, from day one to where we are now, I think we've come a long way. You know, I think it's just about making small steps and trying to figure out how we can better compete in the NSIC. And you know, I think offensively, we're gonna compete at a higher level. That was a big focus. Defensively, I really think we're pretty strong. You know, I think we're strong up the middle. You know, we're going to have freshmen start for us, so there'll be a little bit of an experience curve. But you know, I think we have some solid returners. You know, the left side of our defense is going to be tough with Emma at third and Taylor at short. And I'm excited for the conference to see Jordy McNeely behind the plate as well. But overall, defensively, I think we're going to be incredibly strong. I think offensively, we're going to see some improvement from what they did last year.
Yeah, speaking of the freshmen, there's 8 of them or 9 of them this year. Mm-hmm. So with that young team, what do you want to see out of those young players as you start getting into a game mindset?
I want them to compete, and I think they've done a good job. I think that they came in not really concerned about you know, the level of play before their time here, and they've come in, they've pushed the returners. I think their intensity and really their just commitment to wanting to play softball at a high level has kind of rubbed off on everybody. You know, I think there's with freshmen coming in, there's always that excitement and also just not knowing, and so they just came in and pushed hard. You know, so I think that their skill level is also high, but you know, there's always that experience of coming into your first collegiate game. So, you know, but I think they play fearlessly, which is exciting to see from freshmen.
And then on the side of returning players, what do you want to see out of them?
They've been committed. I mean, I think change is hard, right? Like, I mean, somebody coming in and kind of changing philosophy and changing the direction of the program. But the returners, I think, have bought in. You know, the first semester was a little tentative. You know, what's Coach Rickham going to be about? And you know, they really embraced, you know, just the difference. You know, just what I consider difference makers, and some of that's off the field work that we've done as a team. You know, and then just changing our mindset in terms of how we come to practice every day, and supporting each other, becoming a little bit more gelled as a team. And you know, the first week and a half of practice has been really awesome. You know, that hesitation is gone. They're going full force. So, you know, those returners. I mean, everybody's new to me, but those returners have really shown that they want the program to go in a different direction.
I saw videos on Twitter about Challenge Week.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a continued tradition, or is that something you brought in?
That's something I brought in. I think the players, they were nervous about what the first week would be like, and you know, so I just kind of coined that Challenge Week, and we'll start doing it. And there was winners of Challenge Week. You know, like they were a variety of different strength challenges. Some of them softball execution. Basically to see how ready people came in to that first week, you know, because the reality is we only have so many practices before we start playing in mid-February. So I think it was a different excitement that maybe they haven't experienced that first week, that, you know, it doesn't have to be painful, that it can be fun. And I think we really pulled together as a team. They supported each other through all the challenges, and we made it fun. You know, I think that they saw that first couple weeks a little bit differently than maybe they thought it was going to be.
Out of all the jobs that were open to you, why did you pick MSUM?
You know, I think I saw the support in a way that they wanted to make Moorhead softball better. I think I saw commitment really from every person that I met, from Doug to Chad. Chuck, the athletic trainer, he was on my search committee as well. I think that there was just a little bit different fire of wanting to make a program better. Where I was before, you know, the program that I took over wasn't really competing at the top of the conference, and you know, it took a lot of change, you know, a lot of good recruiting and players that bought in, and I saw the ability to be able to do that here, and you know, to have that administrative support behind you in terms of what changes you want to do, and you know, the belief that I could make it happen. I thought it was a pretty easy choice, to be honest. And you know, it may be cold up here to play softball, but I thought there was so much more that I wanted to find out if I could do it here, that I was up for the challenge.
Thank you, Coach Reckamp, and good luck with the transition. MSUM softball begins its season on February 12th when it competes in West St. Paul. Back over to you guys.
Thanks, Tanner. Looking forward to see what the new softball coach can bring to the team.
Up next on Dragons Live, we'll show you how an MSUM field athlete is throwing herself to the top. Stay with us.
Another day. And just like every day, it never seems to slow down. But you have a plan. Grab a cup, grab the paper, and grab a little time. Just for you. It's worth it. Don't get the paper? Just grab the phone. Call now and save up to 60% off the newsstand price. Journalists, bringing the story home every day.
Welcome back to Dragons Live. Track and field is coming down the stretch of their season, which also means for the seniors, it's their final stretch as Dragon athletes.
I caught up with senior thrower Emily Willetsko to see how she's capitalizing on her senior season. Tell me how your senior year is going so far. Pretty successful, I would say.
Yes, so far off to a good start. First meet of the season, I threw close to my PR. Second meet of the season, I threw my lifetime PR. And then the last meet at Concordia, I threw my PR again. So far really good. Big things to come, hopefully.
New coach?
Yes.
How has that transition been?
Very good. Stefan's a really good coach. I think he's definitely come in and changed our program a lot. He threw at NDSU last year, so coming in this year now after he graduated, he's bringing in a lot of stuff from there and throwing it into our program, which is really nice. He's definitely pushing us to our limits. It's been a lot different, but different for the better.
Do you credit that new training maybe towards, you know, beating some of your PRs?
Yeah, I do. I think we got after it this year a lot quicker. Right off the bat, after school started, we got into captain's practice, and he came in and started practices up right away, changed a lot of our drills, implemented a lot of new things, and I really think that's helped not just me, but a lot of the throwers too have been throwing a lot of PRs, so I definitely credit a lot of that to him.
Senior season, you know,
Yes.
what are you trying to do? What's the end
What's
goal?
the goal? Well, the end goal for me is to make that national meet, and hopefully I plan on becoming an All-American. Last season I pro-voed for it, but I missed the cutoff. And that happened this season before that too, so my sophomore season. So hopefully third time's the charm, and I get to make it to Pittsburgh. So, yeah.
Thank you, Emily, and good luck with your final indoor season and your final outdoor season this spring.
Our athletic director, Doug Peters, is always fired up about something. Let's see what he has going on this week in Doug's desk.
Hey, I'm fired up. You're joining for this week's segment of Doug's Desk, a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes in Dragon Athletics. I'm in the back gym in our field house, and we're fired up. We've been trying to make a concerted effort to improve the aesthetics of our facilities and our branding of our facilities. So we've got the big Dragons word mark hanging up in our back gym. We got volleyball back here. Heck, almost all of our teams are back here at one point or another. Otherwise, behind the scenes, we've been at the NCAA convention. Legislation passed very favorably, so now we'll start to figure out how we're going to implement those changes to the NCAA rules. And then most importantly of all, we're getting ready to head into the meat of our seasons for our winter sports. We're trying to get ready. Our swimming and diving team here will be competing in their conference championship in mid-February. Our basketball teams are positioning themselves. We're hosting the NCAA Super Region 3 Wrestling Tournament February 23rd. So there's lots of things going on. And I don't want to forget, we've had some personal bests. Emily Willetsko in the throw right now is ranked 12th in the nation for our track and field team. So we'll see how they position themselves for the conference meet and for the national championships. So much going on. You can catch it all at MSUMDragons.com. Download our Dragon app. We're fired up, and we hope to see you at our upcoming games.
We've got a few more things before we go. Head to shopmsumdragons.com today and get free shipping through February 11th. Again, over 1,800 items online shipped free on the official store of Dragon Athletics, shopmsumdragons.com.
We have a brand new MSUM Dragons app. You can update your old Dragons app or search MSUM in your app store. You can delete the #FiredUpFanZone Rewards app because this new version has both great live coverage and rewards together in one app that you can customize, follow only the sports you want to follow. Get the new MSUM Dragons app today by Update, App Store, or by visiting msumdragons.com/app. Wrestling fans, MSUM will host the NCAA Regional Tournament this year on Saturday, February 23rd. The newly aligned region features the best Division II wrestlers in the nation right here inside MSUM's Nemzik Fieldhouse.
Basketball against Sioux Falls is our Make-A-Wish night. Help our Student Athlete Advisory Committee raise awareness and funds for our local Make-A-Wish. With a $1,000 match from game sponsor Papa John's, it's a family-friendly atmosphere with bounce houses and more. That's Saturday, February 9th at 3:30 and 5:30 for Dragons Basketball Make-A-Wish night. Thank you for joining us here on Dragons Live. We hope you enjoyed the show.
For our producer, John Webking, our director, Alex Nelson, Kaylee Sedlacek, Jacob Tenson, Tanner Robinson, Laura Alexander, and myself, thanks for watching, and of course, go Dragons!